with my camera. I'll just bring in Chris so that I can get out of here. Chris, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Derek? Can you hear me okay?
Hey, I can hear you all right. I'm going to add your presentation to the screen. Again, sorry, everyone, that I'm blurry. I'm going to go fix that problem right now. Chris from Gorgias, we've already given a hard plug for you because we are so excited to see the growth of this tool. It's been amazing. I've been following the journey almost from the beginning. Honestly, to everyone, I was in-house a long time ago at Gorgias, but that's not why I prefer them. It's because they're growing, they're growing faster for a reason, and it's because of the advancement of artificial intelligence in the tool and the way that you handle rules and macros, and the fact that I know you guys just launched Instagram DMs. Woo! Like everybody wanted that, the most sought after feature. I literally, when I was in e-commerce, had 3 people full time on tablets answering DMs. Just to give you an
Yep.
idea, full time, 9 to
Yep.
5 on the tablet answering direct messages on
Yep.
Instagram, and that was the only way they could do it. So
Yeah. No, it's that's a huge one. Excited to talk about that and more.
awesome. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Derek. First of all, just want to thank Derek and Ecom Tech for putting on this great event. Honestly, I could have listened to Derek and Christine continue that conversation. I learned a lot from there, and I'm really excited about Derek's recommendation tool. Quick story, when I got into ecom, which was about a year ago, part of my training was just watching Derek's videos over and over and over again to try to understand the app ecosystem, because I run tech partnerships at Gorgias. So it's he's been a tremendous resource for me, and I'm really excited to see what he has next up in his roadmap. But getting to the presentation, today I'm going to be presenting on behalf of Gorgias, which, as Derek said, we're an e-commerce help desk solution built for Shopify primarily, but we also do support brands built on BigCommerce and Magento as well. And as you can see from the topic, I'm here today to talk about how a customer support help desk, you can think of it not just as this post-purchase, we're here to only solve problems, but really transitioning the narrative to, look, we're an engagement tool, and we're the critical layer actually of your tech stack when it comes to engagement, and we can drive a lot of sales and conversion through that method. So we're just going to jump right into it. Awesome. So this is our mission statement, right? To make exceptional support the new normal for customers. And so that meaning the brands that are using Gorgias. I think a lot of people think of offering customer support as this sinkhole, this cost center. It's really difficult to keep up. As we scale, it becomes even more difficult. We can never manage the busy seasons like BFCM and holidays. And so you kind of start to make excuses for why you're not delivering exceptional support. You're like, everybody goes through this when they become a big company. We don't want that to be the case. We want it to be seamless and easy for you to do, but also cost effective, right? We don't want you to be paying a fortune to be able to deliver that exceptional support. And so hopefully today I'll be showing you some use cases of Gorgias and just how we position our product to make it easier for you to achieve this very goal. So as I mentioned, we really like to think of Gorgias and the help desk tool as that critical layer of your e-commerce growth stack on the customer engagement side. A few data points here. I'm not going to regurgitate them, but the key takeaway from these data points, which we pulled from a recent Shopify report, is that when it comes to modern CX, the holy grail really is a nice balance between automation and speed, meaning you're not doing things manually in a repetitive fashion, answering questions like, where is my order? That takes up a ton of time for teams, so you shouldn't have to be doing that manually. So there's that piece of the puzzle, is speed and automation, setting yourself up for scale at all stages of growth. And then there's also the personalization piece, leveraging all of the data that you have on your customers, which obviously we all have, and delivering a really personalized response and messaging to your customers. That's, so the messaging that you're using in all of your social awareness and your marketing campaigns, that needs to be consistent across all channels of communication with your customers, including and especially when you're actually dealing with a direct support or pre-purchase inquiry. And so those are the 2 key goals, and that's ultimately what's driving our roadmap right now, is making it easy for brands to do that. So we're just going to set the stage quickly with where do things stand in modern CX with D2C brands, and then we're going to dive right into 5 actionable tips and tricks for brands with us today to really take their CX game to the next level. So today, buyers are frustrated, buyers being consumers themselves. They have more opportunity and more options than ever before, and 2-day shipping is becoming the standard, so you think people are happy. But what's happening is expectations are going sky high because of the advent of Shopify and all these selling channels and the tools that brands have available to them. So our expectations are sky high. It is for me. I'm sure for people listening, your consumer expectations are now sky high, and so there's really no room for error when it comes to how quickly on the support side you're able to actually get back to them, answer questions, give them everything they need. So for instance, brands with us today might be struggling with their first contact time, meaning, how long does it take for you to actually acknowledge a customer's inquiry, whether it was through live chat or your contact center, or they've called you. So, taking, 12 plus hours is pretty typical for brands, and that's definitely not ideal. It has a big impact on your retention for post-purchase inquiries, but for pre-purchase inquiries, a first contact time of 12 plus hours, you're basically going to have a 0% conversion rate. So that's not good. Resolution time is how long it takes to actually solve these inquiries. Same story. Brands are, consistently doing, 17, 24, sometimes even longer than 24 hours to resolve an issue, which is definitely not acceptable in modern D2C. And then the lack of personalization, right? For consumers who are really loyal to a brand, they know that that brand is giving them a personalized experience. They know if I'm happy and with them, and I'm a super fan, and that'll be reflected in the type of messaging they send to me through communication, through marketing. And they should know if I'm an upset customer, because you better not be hitting me up with all these fluffy special offers. If you know that I've been consistently leaving 2-star reviews, I've been unsubscribing from your lists, so you should have that data. And the way you talk to your customers should be dependent on the information you have, such as the reviews they're leaving, the loyalty points they have with you, how much they've purchased with you. And when you're failing to leverage that data, then that's a huge missed opportunity. And what that means for you, the brands with us today, is you're paying the price on that. Slow response time means you're going to probably have to beef up your support team, which is going to add costs, and it's also going to lead to upset customers, and it's going to impact your retention and CSAT. The lack of personalization, as I mentioned, is huge. It's going to impact retention, but also a huge missed opportunity. So if you're talking to someone, say through live chat, pre-purchase, and you're not leveraging the data that you should have on the customer to help drive them towards a purchase, that's a huge missed opportunity. And then not having your data integrated, and we're going to talk about that later on in this presentation, that's just, you're just an inefficient business at that point. So you should be having all the data available from a customer standpoint, and you should be able to deliver the answers that these customers need lightning quick, and not have to be switching tabs, going into Shopify, going to all the other different tools that you might be using to find answers. It should all be living inside of the same help desk. So that's ultimately where we're going to summarize here. So where are traditional CX programs falling short? Whether you're using a help desk tool currently or you're not, what are the 3 major areas that brands are typically struggling with that's preventing them from really taking the next step from a CX perspective? I apologize quickly for any noise. I'm at Retail X right now in Chicago, and I'm in the conference lobby hall here, so I apologize for any background noise. But yeah, the 3 major areas where brands can definitely improve is lack of automation. So as I said, it's fine. Obviously, when you're just starting off, you're starting off your business, you're obviously going to be handling, maybe as the founder, you'll be handling it, or maybe you'll make your first support hire. You're not really feeling the pain just yet, but as you scale, you certainly will. And it's not feasible, both from a financial standpoint, but also from keeping your customers happy and acquiring new customers, to be doing anything really in a manual fashion. You want to avoid that as much as possible. And if you don't, that's going to lead to a big increased cost and decrease in CSAT. The lack of customer intelligence and personalization is a huge missed opportunity on the sales and retention side. So what that means, and you'll see Gorgeous in a second, is when we talk to a customer, one of our brands does through Gorgeous, we have all of their Shopify order information. If they're using a tool like Yotpo, we have all their reviews and loyalty data available for an agent when they're talking to a customer. If you're using a tool like Klaviyo, then we have all the subscription lists they're on. You can SMS with them. So you should have all the data, as much data as possible on that customer, which really makes it easy to drive a pre-purchase opportunity towards a sale. And then if you're talking to an upset customer post-purchase, you should have all the data you need to give them the responses lightning quick. And then the final piece, which is perhaps one of the most important, is a lack of channel aggregation. So obviously we know omni-channel is super important right now. It's becoming more and more prominent as brands start to sell across different channels and interact with customers across different channels. You need to make sure that those are not disjointed, and they need to be seamlessly integrated. So the same, it's not uncommon, I imagine, for brands to talk to the same customer, have the same customer, email you on a Tuesday, call you on a Wednesday, interact with your Instagram posts on a Friday, and maybe even engage with you on live chat on the weekend, right? And a good help desk tool like Gorgeous will recognize that this is the same customer, and so you're not going to treat them differently in each instance. You're not going to have to ask them for repetitive information when you're talking with them. You should have that information available, and that should be integrated. All right, so we're going to get into it. 5 heavy-hitting facts to go through this presentation that's going to ultimately help you start converting more pre-sale opportunities, but also keeping your customers happy. So tip number 1 is really understanding your support volume. So every brand is going to have a different distribution of types of questions and engagement inquiries that they're getting. But here is a pretty representative breakdown of a common Shopify D2C brand, for instance. So this data was pulled from an analysis over 100,000 different tickets of our actual customers. And so what you're seeing here is a breakdown of what those ticket types are related to. So you can see here, the one that sticks out is order status. So typically 1/3 of a brand's support volume will be strictly related to order status. And it's not that order status isn't an important support inquiry, but it doesn't have a huge impact per se on, say, retention. Obviously, it's it's post-purchase, so there's not potential upsell opportunity there. So this is one that you need to absolutely just wipe away in an automatic sense and not be handling this manually. So you should not be in a situation where you're like getting an inquiry, where's my order, which we all get, and you have to go into their Shopify account, you got to retrieve the data, you're copy and pasting, switching tabs. That's just not going to set you up for scale. And so what we do, and I'll show you how we do that in a moment, is we basically make it easy to completely eliminate this top bar, right? So we're just going to wipe this away for you. We're going to automatically respond to these questions. We're going to pull in the Shopify data related to the order status inquiry. We'll send it to the customer. You can personalize the messaging however you'd like, and then we'll close the ticket. So an agent never even had to look at it. And then so what that does is if you look at the other categories, which at first glance look like they're much smaller percentages, are actually quite significant. So you see pre-purchase inquiries here like product suggestion, product question, pre-order question, and product availability. So these are pre-purchase opportunities. These aren't post-purchase, I have a problem. These are, look, I am looking to make a purchase. I have a question for you. And if you don't get me an answer, typically in under 2 minutes or less, then that's a huge missed opportunity. And so what we're trying to do is, hey, look, we'll take away these commonly asked repetitive questions that bog up your support help desk volume, and then we're going to make it easy for you to focus on more pressing, more pre-purchase opportunities. And so this is at a huge impact for brands that keep customers happy because we wipe this away really quickly, and then also you're getting a lot more sales opportunities because you can focus on these commonly asked questions. And so that's a big part of Gorgeous. And so quickly, to show you how we can wipe away this order status, for instance, is we have this beautiful self-serve widget that we just launched a few months ago. And so this can be living on your front page of your website, for instance, or any page you'd like. And how it will work is if I'm a consumer and say I go to stevemadden.com, which is one of our customers, this little widget will pop up. I can input my email or order ID, and then it will pull in all the orders. So you can see here, it's going to automatically retrieve all the orders that we might have processed or I've already received them. And I can take the number of actions myself, such as track, return, cancel an order. I can report an issue with an order. So this gives the power to the consumer, your customers, to actually just solve their own problems, which has two major benefits. It's amazing because as a consumer, some of the brands I shop with are using Gorgeous and use this tool. I love that I don't have to talk to everybody. There's no delay in getting the information. It's instant because it's powered by basically machine learning and automation. And from the brand's standpoint, this is fantastic because it's not automating support volume. It's just deflecting it, right? It's preventing a ticket from being created in the first place, which is great. And so this is really how we wipe away that 30 to 40% of your volume, which is strictly related to an order. And then if need be, you can easily escalate to a live agent by hitting start a conversation. So this is just like a simple feature. It comes in all of our pricing plans. We start at $60 a month. And so this is a fantastic way to get started on automating some support. Tip number 2 is put a premium on speed and automation. I told you there's 2 magical ingredients for stellar customer experience. One is speed and automation. The other is personalization, which we'll get back to. But on the automation side, really the key metric that you need to be focusing on as a brand, certainly for preparing for a BFCM in the holiday season, is your response time, which, as I mentioned, is how long does it take for you to acknowledge the customer's inquiry, saying, hey, look, we got your inquiry, we're going to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Resolution time, which is actually solving the problem, that's obviously very important as well, but we actually see this as a bigger metric to really be following. And so a not so bad first response time is around 12 hours. That's what we call like a level 1 performance. Not great, certainly, but you don't want to be anything above 12 hours. And what we're doing is we're doing everything we can to improve our product and work with our brands to drive them towards what we call a level 5 performance, which is when your first response time is under 10 minutes. And that's what we call like the Amazon gold standard, right? If you ever interact with Amazon, I'm sure they get back to you light and quick, and that's where we want our brands to get to. And why this is so significant, obviously from a consumer standpoint, it's fantastic to get your questions acknowledged as soon as possible. But from a conversion opportunity, there's actually a massive opportunity. And so what we see from the data is that when there's a pre-sale chat or SMS or any way that you're engaging with a customer pre-purchase, and you respond to them in under 10 minutes, the conversion rates go up by 4 to 5 times what a standard conversion rate is. So we're seeing brands hit 25 to 35% conversion rates when they're talking to customers and they respond in under 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes is a little bit long, actually. Under 5 minutes is really the gold standard. Some brands we work with are doing this in under 2 minutes, which is even better. And so how we can go about doing that, how can we make it easier for you to, drop your first response time to under 10 minutes? How can we get your resolution time down? It's really 3 major ways that we do this. So live chat, for instance, we have a great live chat. This can just be a little simple widget. It looks like this. It pops up in the front of your website. Any consumers on your website can interact with this. And what's great is this isn't just only for post-purchase, I have a problem, I want to get a return. But what's great is you can roll up marketing campaigns, you can do social media campaigns, and you can drive traffic to your website, have your support team inside of Gorgeous locked and loaded, ready to engage with customers. Basically, you're just, picture a sales agent on the bottom of your screen saying, hey, I'm here. If you need me, you can interact with me. And if they have questions about product, they have product suggestions, or looking for product recommendations, your agent can easily interact with them. So that's an easy way to drop your first contact time, is having live chat available. 24/5 is pretty standard, but ideally you want to graduate to 24/7. We also have what we call macros here. So a common one is, where is my order? We all get that question. As I said, you can automatically deflect that, but you can also have pre-built responses. And so you can say, hey, here is your most up-to-date order information. You inject a bunch of, say, Shopify variables. As soon as you hit send, it's going to retrieve all that information and it will answer the question seamlessly. So using macros, essentially templated responses, is an easy way. And then to take it to the next level on the automation side, we can use our feature called rules, where it's essentially a series of if statements. When a ticket is created, so a customer engages with your, messages you, and if the message contains any of the words, where's my order status, any facsimile thereof, then it's going to reply with the appropriate macro, the canned response, and it'll automatically close the ticket. And you can set this up and customize it however way you want. You can set up a cadence split, so it could be like, okay, when this happens, respond in 10 minutes or respond in an hour. You can set it however you like. It can get a lot more sophisticated with that. So typical brands, doing $1 million plus will probably have 50 or so macros and maybe 50 to 100 rules set up. Again, reflecting how your business runs. And just to show you just a key example of a brand that over 2 years ago, in one single day, they had this huge campaign. They drove a ton of traffic to their website. They wanted people to engage with live chat, and in one day, they're able to drive $22,000 in sales just from using live chat. It was the only channel they used that day. And the key to their success in that day, as you can see here, their first response time was 2 minutes, 8 seconds. So they were responding lightning quick, and their resolution time was under an hour, which is phenomenal. So this goes back to this point here, where your conversion rates go up big time if you interact with customers, as soon as they're hitting your website. All right, so that's that. Tip number 3, this is very much related to the previous point, which is turn support agents into sales reps. Certainly upcoming BFCM and holiday season, you want your support team to obviously be prepared to handle true post-purchase support volume. I'm not trying to say, there's not a great place for that, but hopefully I've showed you already that, look, we make it pretty easy to handle the bulk of the volume that happens post-purchase. So let's dig in and focus a little bit more now on the pre-purchase stuff. And that's what this slide is about, is trying to get your support agents to start to adopt a little bit more of a sales mentality, which obviously takes a little bit of finesse to encourage them and train them to do that, but there's huge opportunity. So I just told you about one of our brands a couple of years ago that unlocked 22 grand in a single day. And simple ways that you can do that as well is, you can even turn support inquiries into an upsell opportunity. So say I'm talking to Derek, and he had a big problem, and I was able to solve that. I say, great, really happy I was able to help you out today, Derek. By the way, I see that you're a big fan of our blueberry soda. Just so you know, we've just launched this new orange soda I think you'd be a big fan of. Here's a 5% discount code for your next purchase, right? And he's like, great, I love orange soda. Why not? I'll give it a try. And so that's an easy example of how, okay, initially this was a support inquiry. I crushed that. I handled that. Now I want to turn this into a selling opportunity. And so that's really what, flipping it around from a support to a sales opportunity is something that we're seeing a lot of our brands start to do. What's great is, like I showed you on the previous slide, we have a great revenue dashboard. So it's going to show you, sales opportunities, how much conversion rates you're getting with those sales opportunities, how many sales you're generating from Gorgeous on the revenue side. And you can track this across agents, across channels like Instagram, email, SMS, live chat, and you can obviously segment across dates. And what's really cool about the dates is, once you use Gorgeous for long enough, brands who have been with us for a year plus, coming into this BFCM season, they can both see, last year how they performed on the support side. They could say, we got completely overwhelmed. We can't let that happen. But they can also say, wow, we really missed an opportunity to drive in a lot of sales through Instagram DMs, through live chat. Let's make sure that we're set up for success this year. So the historical data can be really impactful. Tip number 4, related to what Derek said earlier about social media integrations being so important. So the key selling point of Gorgeous is we really are an omni-channel help desk, meaning any channel that you're selling on or you're interacting with your customers on, rather, we're going to be there to pick up those conversations. And so what you can see here is that, inside of a Gorgeous dashboard, you can see a bunch of different tickets. So these would be individual inquiries from individual customers. It looks much like an email inbox. You can see who the assigned agent is. What's cool is you can see which channel it came in through, right? So this one came through email, Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, and then live chat, right? So it doesn't matter what channel your customers are engaging with you. We're going to pull that in. We're going to consolidate it here and make it look the same. So it's going to look like an email inbox, right? So you don't have to go into all of these different tools and then manually answer the questions and then go fetch the data, say from Shopify or Amazon account. It's all just going to live right inside the customer conversation, which is fantastic. And then the key thing to note is that we did just launch Instagram DMs, which was the most requested feature release of all time here at Gorgeous. And what that allows you to do is that if a customer respond or post on one of your Instagram posts, they post a comment or they reply to a story of yours, or they DM you, which, as Derek said, he used to have a team of people literally just managing DMs all day long. We have some brands have a team of 5, 10 people managing their Instagram DMs alone. We now pull all of those DMs and posts and replies into Gorgeous, just like it looks here. So for instance, this ticket here, you can see it. I love it. Do you ship in Europe? This could have been this person commenting on your post or DMing you, right? And so now, instead of your marketing people having to take care of this because they're the ones typically powering your Instagram account, for instance, now you have support agents who are real experts and in a position to actually answer these questions. And so this is having a huge impact on conversion rates and generating new sales through that channel, which is a huge release for us. And another really cool integration, sorry, I love integration, so I'm going to highlight this one as well, is we just integrated with a tool called Gatsby.ai. And so what they do is they give you this little pop-up chat, or a pop-up capture form on your website. And so obviously you're going to capture email address, that's standard. What they're actually making it easy to do is also capture the Instagram handle of your customers, which is great. And the whole idea for them is turning them into micro-influencers. And with the Gorgeous integration, what that does is we'll pull in the information. So as an agent, I'm talking to a customer, I can see all of their Instagram information, so how many followers they have, and how we leverage that is we have automation rules set up that you can set this up however you like, but if a customer, submits a question or an inquiry, either pre or post purchase, and say they have greater than 1,000 followers, we'll flag that customer as like a VIP or a big customer because they have a big social following. You don't want to upset that customer. You want to make them happy. And so you'll prioritize them. You also get tagged if they mentioned you. And so this is a really cool integration coupled with our Instagram DM, is great. And so you can see if I'm talking to a customer who has 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, then I really want to roll out the red carpet for them, maybe even give them some exclusive offers, offer to send them some free swag, turn them into an evangelist. And so this is something that we're really excited about. And then the final tip here is getting your tech stack fully integrated. Christine and Derek were talking earlier about how important it is to have your full tech stack integrated with one another. You need data being shared to and from between these tools. You don't want these to be disparate and disjointed. And so one of the major advantages of Gorgeous is not only do we fully natively integrate with the major e-com platforms, but we also integrate with many of the apps. I'm sure a lot of brands with us today are using many of the tools shown on this slide. And what's great is, and what I always say is, look, Gorgeous is natively a fantastic product. Hopefully I've showed you that today. But when you factor in all of these, 50, 70 plus apps that plug into our product, it really transforms it into something truly exceptional. The use cases that are provided to our customers who use Gorgeous are, incredibly high when you start factoring in SMS for two-way messaging with your brands. Reviews and rewards. Now, if a 1 or 2 star review is left, that will trigger a ticket. We can see all the loyalty points that a customer has while we're talking to them, which we can leverage. We can even take actions like giving them loyalty points. If they want to return an exchange, now that can all be powered through our platform, right? So it's just the use cases are galore. We fully integrate with all of these partners in a very seamless way, plug and play. It's very easy. And if you're not using one of these tools, but you want to, we have super preferred pricing with these partners as well. So we're always happy to make partner recommendations. And really quick to finish up here, I just wanted to show one such example. So as mentioning, Yotpo is one of our our biggest integrations. We have over 750 brands that are using the Yotpo Gorgeous integration. And so you can see how this would work from a customer experience standpoint. So Princess Polly is one of our shared merchants. They also have an SMS product through SMS Bump, which they had acquired. So you can see here, Princess Polly had rolled out a message, basically a cart abandonment recover attempt. And then, so this is what obviously the consumer is seeing on their mobile phone, and then what the merchant is seeing, so the customer support agent is seeing inside when they're, say Kim was respond or we're having a conversation with Kim. This is all the information that we can have on Kim. You know, we can see all her loyalty points, which VIP tier she's on. You know, how many reviews she's left, what's the average rating, what's her average sentiment. And then these individual items here are the actual reviews that she's left. And so we can actually see what reviews she's left in the past. And so this is just a lot. This is, again, this is that whole personalization piece where we have this much data. We should be leveraging it to give Kim a really seamless experience. We can even take actions like reward points if it was deemed appropriate. And then the final piece here, I'm not going to touch on it too much, but the whole idea of really driving our customers from a level 1 to a level 5 performance. And I'll just quickly summarize what we consider a level 5 truly exceptional customer experience program that some of our brands, about 5% of our brands, are in this level 5. We're trying to get more of them there every single day. And so what exceptional looks like in modern CX for most D2C brands is having a first response time of under 15 to 20 minutes. That would be exceptional. Solving the problem, so your resolution time in 1 hour or less. You're automating 30% of your tickets. You're integrated from a customer engagement and support standpoint, at least 8 channels. So this is email, SMS, Instagram, social, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and then you have 8+ integrations plugged in. So this is all the key metrics based on very extensive research into our customer base of what we consider exceptional. So if you're not here, that's fine. You might find yourself in the lagging or fair category. Using a tool like Gorgeous is going to help you get to the strong and exceptional. And that's it. Just to summarize, we are working with over 7,000 B2C brands, including some B2B brands. You can see some of them here. They're trusting us to power their CX. We'd love for you to be one of the next brands that we work with and support. And with that, I'd like to thank the organizers of this event, Derek, for hosting. If you do want to check out Gorgeous, I'm happy to get you 2 free months, which I can assure you is all you need to see the ROI of such a tool. You can just directly contact me at chris@gorgeous.com.
Chris, amazing. Actually showing that data of what you have on the customer. I mean, that's so juicy to me. And then showing how we work our way towards being an exceptional brand from customer service, I think is also where we all want to be pointing that way. And I know a lot of people here aren't there just yet. And I know that your tool is one of the best tools for getting there. We're out of time. I can't ask you any questions. We have to go right into the next session. But Chris, thanks so much. I'll be sure to plug your email here in chat. And for everybody, maybe you tuned in a little bit late, we also have the show notes. I'll plug those show notes. Make sure you can follow along there and get some of these slides Chris just shared so that you can get your response time down to under 15 minutes. And yes, I do think under 2 minutes on live chat, super important. Even under 30 seconds can be really, really impactful. Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks
Chris,
so much, Derek. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.